How critical is self-worth? The way that we think about ourselves every day and our worthiness for everything life has to offer. How critical is that? Well, our guest today, Alexis Magness, is going to share with us her thoughts on the power of knowing your self-worth. And I can't wait to dive into that with you. So, Alexis, welcome to the Interstate.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really
Yeah,
happy to be here.
I'm really excited to be here because so often we talk about other elements and perspectives or facets of self-perception. And I know we talk about worthiness sometimes, but I'm excited to focus on it because a lot of times it's spoken as an additional item, not the main course. So I want to dive in with you on this. So, Alexis, when you think about your own self worth and how that has been influenced, could you share a little bit with us of why that's important and how you realized it's important and how you've discovered about yourself,
Sure.
possibly even through others?
It's been a long journey. I have always struggled with self-worth and self-esteem and self-confidence. I look to other strong women who have been through some worse times than me and have gotten through it. And I rely on those stories, those women who find their self-worth, who didn't have self-worth before and really struggled with it and came out on the other side. Those are the stories that I gravitate towards and that help me also understand my own self.
Well, you shared with me that there's one book in particular that has almost become it's like a keystone book for you. That you really had some insight for your own self by living through the story of this other woman. So the book is Grandma Gatewood's Walk. Could you share with everyone?
This is the book. This is Grandma Gatewood. She's a real person,
Hmm.
and she found her self-worth through just getting up and going for a walk one day.
A walk. That's right. Let's share a little bit
Uh-huh.
more. And by the way, what time frame was this?
So this was in the 60s, in the
Hmm.
1960s, and she literally got up one day. I want to say she had just a couple handfuls of kids, and she got up one day after having lived a lifetime of abuse by her husband and being a mother and just being put down all her life. Not that being a mother is being put down, but by
Right.
her husband. She was treated very unfairly, and she got after the kids had grown up, I think she had 2 left at home that were, of age to be left at home, and she went for a walk and never looked back. She hiked the Appalachian Trail, which I know I could not do tomorrow, but she literally just left with the clothes on her back and the Keds sneakers she had on her feet, and she had health issues and knee problems, and there was no excuse like, I just don't feel like I'm getting up today. I don't feel like going for a walk today. So I'm this is good for me because I need to get up and go for a walk in the morning. But, yeah, she just literally put one foot in front of the other and found herself along the way and found her self-worth, and it's just such an inspiring story. She actually saved the Appalachian Trail, so
Mhm.
I highly, highly recommend reading this book. It's an easy read, it's a short read, it's a joyous read, and yeah, it's one of my favorite books.
And from what you shared with me, that I want to do spoiler alert, she did not return to her previous life after the walk.
Right,
Yeah.
she did not. She actually wound up hiking. I don't wanna give, yeah, too much away, but
Right. We won't
she
give away too
wound up
much, but
wound up, hiking it again.
mhm.
So, I mean, this woman, there was nothing special about her. She was overweight. She was in her 60s. Like I
Mhm.
said, she had been beaten down all her life. There was no chance in hell she was going to succeed on this walk. And
Mhm.
she did. And she proved to herself that she can do hard things. And we proved to ourselves that we can do hard things. So it was really inspiring to me.
And what was it about it that you pulled that you related to yourself? So why was this so inspiring to you?
I think because I tend to make excuses like, "Oh, my knee hurts," or I'm not feeling good this morning," or "I woke up late," or whatever, and this woman literally she's hiking through the worst conditions and with nothing, with no
Right.
winter coat, with no, Brooks sneakers, and
Right.
she didn't have to have the right gear, she didn't have to have a cheerleader behind her, no one's holding her accountable, she literally just did it. Yeah, and so for me, I need to remember to just do it. Mel Robbins has got that
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, get up and go, and
Yeah.
I
5, 4,
I
3,
love
2,
that
1.
3, 2,
Yep.
1, yeah,
Yeah.
and go, just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. So that's kind of where I need to, remember that, and that inspires me.
When you think about your own Appalachian Trail, what is it that you want to be walking and accomplishing every day that she's inspiring you to do?
Oh my gosh, my name means, Alexis Magness means great defender of mankind. So
Okay.
that is something that I am trying to live up to.
Mhm.
Helping people is that's my Appalachian Trail, is just making sure that people are taken care of. And that's, yeah, that's what I focus on is I can't stand when people are taken advantage of. So I try
Right.
to help them, yeah, just help other people see their worth and not get taken advantage of.
Well, I think it's amazing that her journey, her actual journey led to huge mindset breakthroughs for her. And
Mhm.
I believe it also had physical ramifications for her. So when she was doing the Appalachian Trail, she had, as you said, some health issues going on. Did the walk itself offer any healing and improvement, or was it a detriment?
No, it absolutely healed her.
Hmm.
It was like Heidi of the Hills, she got out there, she's in the wilderness, she's encountering all kinds of wildlife and
Right.
people that weren't so savory and
Hmm.
having to deal with, the elements and everything and her knees and her weight. She actually lost weight on the trail. I mean, you can imagine if you're hiking
Right. Yeah.
3,000 miles, you're probably going to
Right.
get in really good shape. And yeah, and she came out in much better health, wound up living, I think she lived until she was something like 80
Great.
and had a wonderful life. And I think it was very healing, both physically and emotionally, mentally for her.
So it's funny. It reminds me of, oh my God, what was it called? There was a movie out just a couple years ago and a great book um, about by Cheryl Strayed. She very similarly reached a point in her life where she just went and did the Pacific Coast Trail. And the movie has a Reese Witherspoon,
Oh,
Into the
was it
Wild or The Wild. It's something with wild.
was it The Ride of Her Life?
No.
That's another one of my favorite books where she did the Pacific Trail. She came from Maine on a horse
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah,
rode
no, that's a different one.
this country. Another one of my favorite books of all time.
Very nice.
Another woman who
Yeah.
left Maine, and she's the one that had the tuberculosis diagnosis. The
Mhm.
doctor said she wasn't gonna live. She got on a horse, sold her failing farm, took her dog, and off they went from Maine to California
Wow.
in
Wow.
the 50s.
That's amazing.
The highways were just being built. Again, a woman with no resources or plan or map or GPS or anything and just took off and found herself along the way. So it's these true stories of, this
That's
last
right.
chance, the last chance of, they're in their 50s and 60s and they don't just sit on the couch and wither away, like, they
Fade
actually
off.
do something with their lives, like and there's their legacy. They've written a book, and they can inspire others through that book.
And it's inspiring you now, and then that's having a ripple effect because it is keeping you on your A game so that you're helping others.
Yes, very
And
much so.
you are that's a gift that gives back to you as you protect and help others.
I feel like since I've read these 2 books in the last year that my success has exponentially grown.
Mhm.
because, yeah, I do look to these women and think, "Hey, I can do that. I can get up in the
Right,
morning
that's
and I
right.
can do that. If these women can do that, I can do that." So, it's truly, truly inspiring.
So I did. I remember it now. It's her book, Cheryl's book, which if you haven't read this one yet, get it tonight because if you like both
Okay.
of those, you're gonna love this one. It's Wild from Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail.
Wow,
And
yeah, I'll
it's
totally get it.
Cheryl Strayed, which is Strayed.
Okay, thanks.
It will give you even more. We're gonna refill your tank. You're gonna have a
I love
full
it!
another fuel station to stop by for this level of it.
Thank
One of the
you.
things that stands out to me from all of these is that these are women that are reconnecting with nature,
Mhm.
prioritizing themselves, and uh, pretty much going off grid. So for your own self, looking at, your career, you're in real estate, you're also an international best-selling author. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But how important do you think it is to make sure that you have off-grid time in your life? So is this even part of it? It's because there's no coincidence that the three of them with these huge transformations, they're all off-grid, prioritizing themselves and in nature. Do you feel like that's a part that is important for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got, 4 grandkids, and the youngest one is just turned 1. So for the
Mhm.
last year, Wednesdays have been my day with my youngest grandson,
Okay.
and I am off grid on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
I try not to work on Wednesdays. And having said that, 52 days of the year, and I had my best year. So
Right.
I'm off. Yeah, I took time to spend with my grandchild those 52 days and yet still have my best year. So I think it's really important to, yeah, just get up. I mean, even if you're working at home, which I do a lot, get up, take a shower, get dressed for work, come to the table. Don't have, if I stood up, I don't have my PJ bottoms on.
Right, right.
I'm dressed
Right.
for work. I'm ready to go. So, yeah, I just and then just spending time in nature. I know it's kind of hot right now. It's our hottest March ever, but just
I
getting
know.
outside and enjoying the orange blossoms right now and the flowers and the Palo Verde flowers and
Right.
taking a drive, taking a break is really important. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of going off grid for a little while.
Well, I'm curious, reading the 2 that you've already read, and I can't wait to talk to you after you read The Wild. Do you have any quests like that? So, you and I both reside in Arizona. Did you know that Arizona has the AZT Trail and it's 800 miles? You can start at either end, but it literally, most people start down at the border of Mexico and it goes all the way up to the state line. Do you have any interest in doing any type of through hike like that?
Wow. So I'm a native Arizonan and I didn't know that. I have always thought about doing the Grand Canyon rim
Mhm.
to rim or rim to rim to rim. A lot of my friends have done that and I've thought about
Mhm.
that. So yeah, I used to hike a lot, not so much anymore, but
Mhm.
one of the cool things I think about Grandma Gatewood's walk is I gave it to my mom and she read
Right.
it and she started walking. She went out and
Nice.
started walking and it really inspired her too. It's yeah, it's just nice to see that what am I trying to say? That
The
inspired,
ripple effect.
yeah, the ripple effect
Yeah.
exactly is what it is.
So you mentioned the youngest grandchild and having Wednesdays is your special day with your youngest grandchild. Tell us more about your family and how do you like could you imagine? I guess that would make things pretty hard because you're not being abused. It'd be hard for you to walk away and see ya. By the way, the average time it takes to do the Appalachian Trail is 7 months if someone does the full
And
trail.
I wanna say it took her I probably took her a good year. I'm
Mhm,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, back then yeah, I'm telling you today with today's
yeah,
technology and everything we have now, it takes around 7. So
wow,
I was imagining how long did it take her to do that?
yeah.
And I wasn't sure she started in Maine, but I was pretty sure she started in Maine because of the weather. So I figured she went north to south. But it's so compelling, I am intrigued, and I'm now going to be
Reading
checking
those.
that out. Yes. So it do you feel that the connection you have with books, you held up very quickly, and I see books behind your head. So are you an old school reader where you read a book, you actually get the book and read it more so than electronic or
Yeah.
audio?
Yeah, I'm not an audio fan. I've gotta look at the book, I've gotta look at the words, I've gotta reread the words, I've gotta look up a word I don't know, and I love having that tactile, that book
Yes.
in my hand, putting Post-it notes, flagging the
Mhm.
pages, underlining things, writing notes in the margin.
Right.
I'm definitely old school.
So, Alexis, this has inspired you physically. It's inspired you in that self worth, self perception, and what's possible for you. Reading these powerful stories, is it also part of what inspired you to become a best selling author and to write your story?
Absolutely. So I actually read a six-figure chick book,
Okay.
and I had seen Mel Carr at one of my business development breakfasts, and I knew who she was, and I cornered her in a bathroom and said, "Hey, how do I become a six-figure chick?" And she said, "Well, you gotta make six figures
Hmm.
and you gotta have a good story." And I said, "Okay, well, let's talk." And I gave her a few snippets of my story. I've lived 9 lives and I'm still here. And she said, "Here's the invitation. Would you like to be in the next volume?" And I did. I wanted to. And my husband was very supportive of that and said, "Yeah, absolutely. Go do it." Um, so I did it.
What did it feel like writing your story?
Oh boy, there was a lot of editing, a lot of editing. I wanted to give the most succinct version of my story without like I've been through a lot and my family's been through a lot and just knowing that everything that I've been through and the chapter doesn't even go into a lot of my life, but just everything that I've been through, like if I was reading that and it didn't have my name attached to it, I would be really, like, inspired by that woman. So,
That's great.
yeah, so it was really healing for me, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to write my story and to meet women who have gone through just incredible circumstances and come out on the other side successful.
Hmm.
And, to, like, not just read their story, but hang out with them and socialize with them and connect with them, really connect with them. They're not just an author of a book, they're my peers, they're in my neighborhoods, they're here, they're real for me to tap into. So, I'm just really grateful that we have this circle of friends.
And it's incredible that you shared, you were vulnerable, you wrote it down, and the word that you used was it was healing for you. Is that a healing that you were even aware that you wanted or needed?
No, I thought I had been through, all the therapy journals and all the stuff, and, like, I thought I had healed myself from
Mhm.
everything that I'd been through, but apparently I hadn't, and and it's hard for me to even express that right now because like I said, writing that down, it's and the writing exercise itself of telling my story, which I'd never done before, it was just really enlightening to me.
Are you finished or you think you're gonna write some more?
Well, my sister's pretty mad at me because we've always talked about writing a book, like our entire lives. It's like this got to go in the book. We've got things that, we'll go to the dentist, and the dentist will say, "Never seen that before." Or we'll
Right.
go, like we've got all of these, "Never seen that before." Like we have so many crazy experiences, things that have happened to us that she'll call me and be like, "You're not going to believe this." And she'll tell me the story. And I'm just like, I can't believe it, but I can because it's our story.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think maybe there's another book in there and it might be called "So I Stole a U-Haul." There's a sponsor.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Cindy, if you're watching this, yeah, we're gonna write that book. So that'll be my second book.
Well, and now you know a great publisher.
Yes.
So it's even
Yes,
more
for
possible.
sure.
So in your day job, so your day job is in my chosen industry as well of real estate. And how has all of this conversation we've had so far, how does this ripple out into your career in real estate and the experience that people have when they work with you?
So I'm not your typical realtor. I'm not out there to collect a check and move on. I really care about my clients. I work with a lot of senior clients, snowbirds. I am the snowbird whisperer because I'm a native Phoenician and people who are moving here don't know what end of Scottsdale they want to move to. So I help them figure that out. And I really, my passion, my mission is to make sure people are taken care of, make sure that they know what their house is worth, that they're not getting swindled, that they're not getting taken advantage of. And even if they don't work with me, I just want them to know that here's what I have to offer and just make sure that you're educated and you know you
Well, I think that's great. So, looking at all these different hats, you have the grandma, mom, agent, writer,
wife.
life, yeah, human and not a robot. So you're actually, your own physical self. It's all just sounds like it's coming together in a place and at a time where you are able to feel your self worth where you are and with who you are.
Yes, and it's taken me 57 years to figure this out. I'm tend to be pretty immature, young at heart, but I feel like the older I get, the more I look to strong, smart, inspiring people, women, and try to just hone myself. Before I was just like fly by the seat of my pants. I didn't really have a care in the world, and now I'm like, what do I have to leave behind? What's going to be on my gravestone? Like,
Right.
what are people going to say about me? And I hope it's good. I hope it's a good experience. And I try to let people know that what you see is what you get. I'm very honest to a fault, and I am put here to help people. I am a servant, and I think a lot of realtors forget that they're servants, whether you're representing a buyer or a seller of a $200,000 condo or a $20 million mansion.
Right.
You're a servant for your client. And not a lot of people have that personality. It's a
Right.
different personality. Yeah. You're a giver or you're a taker. And there's not a lot of in between.
That's right. And we see a lot of one or the other in our industry. There can be, yeah.
Yep.
So it sounds like this is a time where, being young at heart is one thing and having that spirit, which I can sense your spirit. You definitely have a spirit. And at the same time having the business maturity. So that's what I heard you describing is that you approach your practice and your agency in real estate with a business maturity that is there for the benefit of all involved.
Yes. Thank you for wrapping that up and making that known.
Yeah, that's what I heard you
Thank
saying.
you.
Well, looking at the future, you have this 1-year-old grandbaby. How old are the other grandkids?
So the next one up just turned 4, and then we've
Okay.
got the 5-year-old and the 8-year-old, and they're all involved in horseback riding, chess club, swimming lessons, and I mean, they're I don't know how my daughter does it. She's got all 4 of them, and she juggles all of them and all of their activities and is still a mom and a wife and has a full-time job. So I must have done something right.
You must have. That's right. And then you and your sister, I think definitely get together, have coffee this Saturday morning and talk about it.
Yep, we have
Figure it out,
coffee.
start the book,
We have
pick some target dates.
coffee and conversation. That's what we do. Yeah.
There you go. But put it in writing. Put
Yep.
it on the calendar.
Thank you.
Get into action on that.
Thank you. All right.
It's just really, really an exciting time. So, Alexis, I'm really intrigued now hearing about you and your sister. Did you say her name's Cindy?
Cindy.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you share with us what's one adventure or one obstacle that the two of you possibly created, but definitely overcame. Share a little bit of what we might experience in the book that you would write.
Well, most of our stories are just crazy things that have happened to us, like the time that the dog got into her Suburban during a storm and got locked in there and tore the whole inside of the Suburban up, or the time the mouse jumped down her shirt and went wild in her shirt. I mean, there's just so many crazy stories that we have that most people probably haven't experienced.
Right.
We love having fun and we have an amazing family. We all sing karaoke, we get together and
Mhm.
have theme parties, and our parents and our step parents all get along
Oh,
and
that's great.
they go on like trips together. And so while some of the stories that we're going to tell are just crazy stories about our family and things that have happened to us, some of the stories are just stories about our family that we got together and we did this crazy karaoke, or we did a lip sync contest, and we're doing our second annual lip sync contest this year. So, yeah, it should be fun. We've got all kinds of ideas that sisters probably all have, like a hot dog cart with a vintage trailer. Now, we've always wanted to do that. Will we ever do it? Maybe.
Maybe.
Uh, she actually bought a wedding boutique and we actually sold 300 and some odd wedding dresses at a
Wow.
wedding show, had a wedding expo, had a runway of models. And like, have we ever done this before? No. Like, did we know what we were doing? No. But just super fun stuff like that. So,
Does she
yeah.
still have it?
Oh, no, we sold all the dresses.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Sold all the dresses. She was actually looking for a wedding dress for herself. And out of all those dresses, she didn't find one. So we sold them all. But,
That's
just
funny.
funny stories. We've got so many funny stories that, like, I think that the average normal person probably doesn't have crazy stories like our family does. So, I don't know. We're crazy,
Share
but
the
it's
joy. You gotta
crazy.
share the joy. Well, and I will just throw out there, I'm your off-grid girl. I have climbed Mount Whitney twice. I've hiked
Oh,
portions
wow.
of it other times. I am considering through hiking, which is what they would call doing the Appalachian Trail, considering the AZT. So I'm looking into all of that. What I'd like to offer Alexis is whenever I get that next adventure on the calendar, I'll let you know just in
Please.
case you would like to
Please do.
come along.
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. I've always, well, for the last 20 years, I've hung out with triathlons and they've all done Ironman. They've all got the tattoo. I've never done it. I've never even done a half Ironman, but that is lurking in the back of my head that I would love to do that someday. Like that's
Oh, all
on my
right.
bucket list. Yeah, it's on my bucket
There you
list.
go.
There you go.
Very good. Alexis, thank you for being a guest on the Interstate and sharing your story
Of
and the
course.
inspiration introducing us to Grandma Gatewood
Yep.
and
And
Jackass Annie.
Jackass Annie, yeah, of
There
the
you
Ride of Her
go.
Life.
Yeah. So thank you so much for those introductions. I actually, because of my interests, that I want to read both.
Yes.
And I just really want to thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
And if you're listening to this episode of The Interstate, I hope you'll join us for the next one. Have a great day.